Welcome to the Getting Real podcast, where real stories of leadership and career growth come to life through authentic conversations. This season, we're going to be focusing on coaching conversations. I'm your host, Afsheen and in each episode, we dive in to the heart of personal and professional development. This podcast is a safe space for individuals seeking guidance and transformation. To honor their privacy, all conversations are recorded anonymously. Our guests share their challenges and breakthroughs, providing valuable insights that can help you on your own journey. Today's episode features a coaching conversation with a courageous individual who has agreed to let us share their story. Listen in as we explore their unique experience and uncover strategies that might inspire your own path to success. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. I think where I would love to begin is that piece, which is, what is your topic to discuss today? What are you bringing to the table? Please tell me more.
Okay, so my topic for today would be to obtain an insight, something that would make me to move in one direction, in the meantime feeling peaceful. Because now, as a full grandmother, but with a coaching background, that I want to start again. If I choose one of these, I feel that the other is not enough to care of.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting one. I heard that you're kind of torn between two things. That of being a coach and that of being a grandmother. And I'm very curious about this. So tell me more about this feeling of being between two things and trying to make a choice. How is that felt by you right now?
So I love being a grandmother and dedicated myself completely to my daughter, and not just to my daughter, but to my entire family. In the meantime, because I had the experience of working with people and feeling what means for me to have impact, larger scale, I would say, that not just inside my family. It was something that I loved to do, and I now, if I would decide at this moment to quit, not to quit, but to find a solution for what's needed inside my house, and to move and dedicate myself completely to my previous activity and to become a coach again. It would be harder for me, I know, because as I told you before we started this, it's like I would be in a startup, because everything changed, or a lot of things changed since 4 years ago. But I really feel that it would worth to do it.
I'm hearing so many contradictions in what you say. It's changed, but I really want to do it.
But yeah,
I feel like I'll be in a startup, but I want to feel peaceful. That was a word that you used when we started. I want to be dedicated to my family, but it also feels as though it will take away from the work that I do, or vice versa. So I hear contradiction.
I'm confused, indeed.
Confusion. Okay, that's the word. Confusion. So being that is what is coming up for you right now, where would you like to be at the end of this conversation? And what would that feel like to you?
I would like to be peaceful with my decision. But what the decision, probably I won't be able to take the decision now. have some hints that could move me in one direction.
In one direction. I see. So for you, you want to move from confusion to peace.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you defined peace is
Not to feel guilty.
Not to feel guilty is peace.
To myself and to my family, for my family.
Guilty to self and family. Wow. So tell me about guilty then. What is it that is contributing to your guilt?
So if I remained with what I'm doing now as a mother and grandmother, wife, daughter, everything together, I would feel guilt to myself that I loved so much doing coaching, and I felt complete at that point in time when I thought that I won't never go to retire in my life, that I will die doing coaching. It is my feeling.
Yeah.
And I tried to combine them, and I saw that it didn't work so well the last years. If I'm stopping, if I'll go back to coaching, it's the guilt that I'm not taking care enough to the people I love. So both of them are not with peace for me. But I realize I'm not okay, even if, as I told you, I took this decision consciously that for a few years I'll do this. But I realize that I'm not feeling well through my reactions lately.
Right.
It happened to me not once to feel some anger that was not something very familiar for me. So even if I don't completely realize the causes or some solutions, I know that my body is not happy with this.
And where are you feeling that in your body?
Here.
In your chest, right here?
Yeah. And sometimes on my shoulders. I feel that it's something on my shoulders that it's not letting me to move in one direction. I do sometimes like this, but it's not enough. It's not helping.
I love that you know where you feel it, and as heavy as it is here in your heart, or here in your chest, and here on your shoulders, and you're trying to kind of move it around.
And it's something more. I realized in the last year that I started not to take care of myself at all, dedicating to myself to others and getting about myself. I gain weight. I'm not doing sport anymore. So really dedicating myself to others made me forget about myself, about everything about myself.
Wow.
And this is why I'm not happy.
This is why you're not happy. That's...
At some point I thought it could be a depression. Because I loved before to do not necessarily sport, difficult sport, but going out and to walk, riding the bike. Now I prefer to stay with my daughter, play with my granddaughter, play with her, go out with her, but staying on the bench, like a real grandmother.
Like a real grandmother. You know, it's interesting because I can hear that there is still a confusion between those two roles. And there's a yearning. So tell me what it is you are yearning for.
What I'm... Can you tell me?
Yeah. What is it that your heart desires?
my heart desire to be a dragon with two heads and two hearts, but that's not possible.
And
I want both.
So your heart desires both. And what if, just what if you did achieve that?
Mhm.
Just for a moment, what if we just park all the buts and ifs and maybes, and we just stayed in this moment, said, what if you could have both? What would that feel like?
It would feel complete.
Complete.
In all the areas of my life.
Wow. And what would that mean to you?
Life. It would mean life.
Please tell me more what you mean by life for yourself.
Life, energy, happy with what I'm doing, with what I'm doing for me, for the others, my family, and the people that I could coach. But indeed, this, I think, if I should put in a short sentence, is I would live.
You would live.
Yeah, because now I like what I'm doing. I don't feel unhappy because I'm happy with every success that I see from my little one and supporting the people around me. It was a time that, so I'm content with what I did. My husband is an intensive care doctor that work in the biggest infectious diseases hospital. So in the COVID time, he was really in the front line. And for a few years, it was very, very difficult for him. So being there for him and dedicated completely to him and the other was one of my biggest achievement, I would say. If at that point I wouldn't be there for him, I'm not sure it would have been good. So I'm happy with what I did. Also for my father, for my daughter who needed support in her time remaining single. So it's okay. I'm completely content with what I did, but I'm not sure I could do this for longer term.
The word that you used that really, really stayed with me is the word complete. So first I want to acknowledge so much your incredible contribution in your own world. It's such an important role that you've played, being the anchor of all of the moving parts around you. And I wonder how you acknowledge yourself in that role that you have played.
Telling you about this.
And while we are here and together, and we have the luxury and the privilege of this time together, what else could you do to acknowledge yourself? What 3 words would you use to describe what you have been to your family?
As you said, I've been an anchor. Sometimes an umbrella. And a mother, sort of a mother to every one of them. What I didn't do at when I should really did it in life with my children.
That's a really interesting one.
Yeah, I remember my daughter when she was 4 years old, like my granddaughter now, saying she wasn't able to speak so well, but she's used to say, "I hate your phone and your suitcase. I hate your phone and your suitcase." And I wanted now with my granddaughter for her not to feel this, to feel that someone is there for her continuously.
It's interesting, isn't it, that you are making this comparison between what you did before and what you are doing now. And I wonder, what you feel about the past that is dictating, in a way, how you are showing up now.
I'm not so happy about the past, because at that point I used to say, this is life, this is what we should do. We need to work to support our kids to have more in life. I don't know, my intention as a mother is to be an inspiration for my kids, to be an empowering mother, but I didn't realize the need of their need as a supporting mother so much. I tried to do it. I did as much as I could, but my work was first, I would say.
And yet in both, you were of service.
Yeah. Yes, I was. Yeah, and this is indeed one of my needs, to be in service, and it's something that I love to do. This is why I consider that myself that as a coach I could do much more, because it's one of my biggest values.
It is interesting. Yeah. So tell me about service. Let's talk a little bit more about that. What does it mean to you? It means to me that if anything I do is helping someone, so help others. This is why I went to medical school. This is why I became a doctor at the beginning. This is why I became a good people manager, because I have this. It's mostly a need to be in service, to help others. And it didn't happen during the years to be against my own needs. So it was one of my needs. Now I feel it's not a balance between my own needs and being in service in my environment. That I need to enlarge somehow this environment in order to fulfill my own needs too. So tell me, how were you in service of your kids when they were younger? Because I can hear that there is guilt. You shared that word. But let's look at the other side of this coin. How were you in service of them when they were younger?
Yeah, so my son they are different, like probably in every family. So for my son, it was really empowering, and it was great that he started to do a lot of things by himself and to take a lot of decisions. And moved from home. He went to university in another country. He started to take his own decisions very rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
For him, it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
But for my daughter, it wasn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
So she really needed more.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I didn't realize this.
And that is what stays with you still.
Yeah. This is the parental guilt I told you about, that I need to do more, at least for her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
than I did for my own.
You know, everything is for something. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm very curious, in that knowing, in that, I guess, in that feeling that you have that I wasn't there enough for my daughter, what was still the gift for her and for you?
For me, it was the possibility to professionally evolve,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to be in service of others.
Mm-hmm.
It was but for her, I'm not sure I know.
Mm-hmm. Is this a conversation you need to have?
We had some.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing therapy now in order to work on this. It was not like I wasn't completely there for her. I didn't left home for a few years, but there were moments when she needed me and I wasn't there. Important moments for her.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It happened to me too in the past as a child.
Right.
But somehow I overcome this easier, or at least at conscious level, I overcome them easier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For her, I'm not so sure, as I told you. She decided to leave home when she wasn't ready. So she proved herself that it was not okay. So she had, with the first relationship, with the first man who entered her life, the kid appeared, the relation didn't work. So
the word that keeps coming up from,
sorry,
there's my intuition is knocking on the door, and the word that is standing and waiting for me to say it is forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering, what is your relationship with forgiveness?
To forgive myself.
Mm-hmm.
Probably this is what I'm doing. This, to fully dedicate myself to the family now, because I didn't forgive myself completely. I understand, at the level of understanding, I don't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I see the value in what I did. But my kids should have been the most important for me. And it's difficult to forgive myself for this.
And so when you don't forgive, what do you do instead to yourself?
Oops. Possible to punish myself? I don't know. I don't. Maybe with this tormentous decision, I'm punishing myself, not taking it. I don't know. Not just my shoulders, but now my belly is hurting.
I saw you physically move.
Yeah.
what would you tell yourself at this time?
First, I need to check with my daughter if she really forget this, in order for me to be able for me to forgive myself. I don't know how to forgive myself.
Oh, my dear. That is a massive weight to carry. That's a big weight to carry. I'll say that back to you. I don't know how to forgive myself.
Because I can say this, that I have to do this. But it's have to.
Do you want to?
Yes, I want it. Yeah, I want it, because this will bring this peaceful state that I need in order to eliminate this confusion. Thank you.
I'm very moved by you right now. You want to forgive yourself. Tell me more about this. What makes you want to forgive yourself?
If I'll be able to do this, I'll feel ease in terms of not doing anything by being obligated to do this.
Instead, you'll be doing something because
I want to do all the things because I love to do this. Actually, this is the why I changed my life, not once, in order to feel, to be in the flow, to like what I'm doing, to love what I'm doing continuously, even if I know it's not realistic to be always in the flow and loving everything you're doing. But I don't know, maybe it's the way I am as a person. I quit the medical activity, working for the company, then I quit it to become a coach, then I changed to become a grandmother. Probably this is my life, not to stay in one role as the beginning till the end. But really, I have to do this in order to move further. You are right. Forgiveness. It's not difficult for me to forgive others. It's really easy to forgive others. I do this with everyone, with the people, with my family or the people outside my family, with the people who created me problems during time. It was not difficult to forgive them. But to forgive myself?
It's often harder to forgive ourselves. And so I must ask you this question. If you were to forgive yourself, and knowing how important service is to you, how would you be in service?
Here is that, indeed, in order to be in service, for sure I cannot be completely in service with me feeling this guilt.
Mm. Mm.
It's indeed something that needed to be solved before.
Oh, that's fascinating. Mm. So when we began, we were talking about the desire to move towards being peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very curious, based on the conversation that we've had so far, what about this conversation has helped us move in that direction?
It helped. Thank you. It helped. It helped because in this confusion of mine, I avoided going a little deeper on what is keeping me stuck in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I now discussing, I realized that it crossed my mind sometimes, but I push it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So now the fog is moving.
The fog is moving.
Yeah.
I can hear songs in my head right now. So this is, to observe you in your journey through this, to wrestle with this, was very inspiring for me. And also, it's so obvious to me your depth of humanity and your desire to create value for everything that you touch. So I really, really wish for you to make some progress in this space of forgiveness. And so I'm going to ask you, what is the first next step? Just to be accountable, what is the first next step that you are going to take in the next, let's say, week to get closer to that?
First, I'll talk to my daughter about this.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
To have a heart-to-heart conversation.
Mm-hmm.
First, to acknowledge in front of her that I feel this.
Wow.
And from there to see how to move with my own forgiveness.
That is such an honest thing to do as a person. I am so moved by your authenticity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Is there anything you feel that we need that would help to complete this conversation today?
I want to thank you for helping me moving this fog. It's a great start for this process after such a long period of being stuck and avoid to do something. I really was stuck in my mind, ruminating on this.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because it's only one important thing to consider, not so many to try. I could be dedicated to this. And even if I don't know how at the moment, it would be step by step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank you for being so open and for your trust. I found that very inspiring. And
so much.
Your humanity and your authenticity. And you are wrestling with things that some so many are impacted by. So thank you for sharing. It means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Getting Real podcast. We hope you found today's coaching conversation as insightful and as inspiring as we did. Remember, every leader's journey is unique, and each step forward is a victory. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, or leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to share these empowering stories. For more resources and information on how you can engage with us, our leadership and coaching services, please visit our website, www.thephoenixcoachingcompany.com. That's www.thephoenixcoachingcompany.com. Until next time, keep striving for excellence and embrace the challenges along the way. You are capable of incredible growth and transformation. Stay strong, stay motivated, and we'll see you in the next episode.